Hey y'all, this is Matt at ConfederateShop.com here. This week I'm going to do something slightly different than previous weeks before. As you know, each week I've been featuring a hidden gem book of the week, which is a book within our library that I think you ought to read or I think you ought to have on your shelf. This week we're doing something slightly different. I'm featuring a brand new book that we have gotten in the nick of time, actually. I didn't plan this, but because it comes in such a convenient time as what occurred this past week. As many of you know, Charlottesville finally dismantled and destroyed the General Robert E. Lee statue, which stood in Charlottesville for decades. It was a beautiful work of art and a beautiful piece of history, memorializing one of America's greatest leaders. And as you know, Robert E. Lee, for many reasons, is admired by not just Southerners, but he's admired by all those who love history for the most part. Even many U.S. presidents of our past have admired and memorialized Robert E. Lee. Teddy Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, to name a few. The memory of Robert E. Lee is always going to live on. We know this, but it's very sad and it's very disparaging when they utterly do these kind of things within our culture to out of spite, really, because they could have easily given the monument to a historical organization or even a museum that would have kept it in one piece instead of breaking it up and melting it down. I read the Washington Post article, or I should say the Washington Compost article, which likened the statue to a rabid dog that needed to be put down. They likened Robert E. Lee to memorializing white supremacy. So they were saying all of these lies about our beloved General Lee. So this week I'm featuring a brand new book that we have on our shelves. It's called Quotations of Robert E. Lee. This is a really short book. It's only 32 pages, and the only thing it has in it are quotes from Robert E. Lee. Now, after each quote, it gives a reference and a citation of where it's found, so you don't have to go digging everywhere to see, exactly when and where Lee said it. That's all this book is a book of quotes. This is a fantastic resource for your own personal collection to have on your own desk, to have in your own home. It's also a great idea at $10. You can give these out to young men. You can give these out to your kids. You can give these out to your friends. Maybe somebody needs some advice, somebody in their life that they need to look up to and admire. Robert E. Lee is one of those men that we as Southerners can emulate. We can emulate his devotion to duty. We can emulate his devotion to his community and family. And even in the face of loss, the way we lost our monument there in Charlottesville, we can observe the attitude of Robert E. Lee in the loss of the war and what he did thereafter to pick up the pieces. We can still stay devoted to our cause. We can still stay devoted to what our mission is, even though we may lose some battles on occasion. So check this book out, Quotations of Robert E. Lee, and they're only $10.